We have here a DCS355 multi-tool, and we have a full battery. So lights are on, but no one is home. Right, next step, we have to go out the 11 screws on the side. There is ever T10 Torx and this bolt and nut. Remove this quick release handle as well. So I'm going to pause the video and take out all the screws, take the lid off. Right, now we've removed all the screws and the quick release lever. The question we need to ask is, will this contact cleaner fix this DCS355 oscillating tool? Like I said before, the lights are on, no one is home. This oscillating tool is not oscillating. I'm going to open it to show you what is actually going on there. Yep. Right. Okay. If I was to fix this device the correct way, I'd be replacing everything from here down. Everything from here down. The motor, the switch assembly and the battery connector. That could cost about £70 or £80. It's basically a whole inside for the drill or the oscillating tool, but it's not technically worth it if you add labour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this part and douse it with contact cleaner to see if it helps. As you can see, there's quite a lot of build up around it, so and the motor looks very caked. So we'll see what I can do, and maybe the switch is dirty too. Yeah. It seems to come out some way handy, hopefully. The whole thing has to come out. Let's see. Just unplug that LED. Right, I think I might just douse that whole thing from there down in contact cleaner and see how you get on. Right, this is the whole inside of the multi-tool, or oscillating tool if you prefer it. And I'm just going to give it a good old going over with this here. We can get it on target, how it is. something like that, and then I'll do a wee bit more cleaning at that, and then I'll leave it sitting for about a day and a half, let it dry out. Bagged up the screws and the quick release lever, and also the wee LED lights so I don't lose them. This is going to be a process going to take a couple of days, and the two sides which are very dirty, I'm going to put them into this bucket of soapy water and soak them. And also I think I should do the switch lever, the electronic parts and that, and also the wee slider that goes on the side. Right, it's a day and a half on now. As you can see, everything's been cleaned to a large degree. Not least of all, the motor has had a good old clean out. I suppose there's bits of grease and bits of grime and bits of white dust, you know, that came out of the motor. So it's better without that. But in the process of cleaning this, I noticed that there was a wire broken, so that had to be soldered as well, which wasn't a big job, but I'm pretty confident when I put this together that'll be working. In the interest of putting this together yourself, what I recommend you would do first is get your LED light, put it into this groove on that, and that should slot into position. I had removed the head. Well, that goes back on with 2 screws to the motor. You don't have to do that, but I did it anyway. Everything goes into place. This here, this slider, see there's a little spring in the back of it. You can see that. There's a little slot that slides onto this thing here. You have to get it that it slides on that. This here, just here, like that. And it's fiddly, this part, getting this switch back on, because there's a slot there that this goes onto, and there's a hole there that this goes into as well. So there's that. That slots on there like that. That should be in position for that. But then we'll have to take that out again. But you see what way it goes now, anyway. I'll have to take that out again to put this wire on the underside of that. That goes in there. So if you complete those steps, which I will duly do now, I'll pause the video. Something resembling this configuration, you should be able to close the thing over. The switch is hard to get into position because it always wants to bounce out. Also, see, switch is out already, so that can prove difficult. It's easy to see, and I've never put one of these together before. The only one I've ever took apart is this one, but I think I've got there. So always make sure that this is lined up. That gets you to close this part. And I'm not convinced of the switch at the minute. Not convinced everything's in position there. It's getting there. Always wants to bounce out. So I'll work with that a little bit I'll pause the video again. Right, so I'll put in the centre screw to hold everything in position. I seem to have got the switch doing what it's supposed to. Feels right anyway. So I'm going to put in the rest of the screws and bolt this back on again. Then we'll do a test to see how well that fix worked, but I'm fairly confident. Right, everything's put together. Quick release for the blades as well, everything. All the screws are in. Brushless motor label back on, very nice. And a battery. Good consistent power. Switch doing what it should. So that's how you fix a Dewalt DCS355 oscillating tool with contact cleaner.